Hello and welcome back. Today I wanted to take a look at Darth Vader's fortress and the extremely interesting history of it and all the stories that have come from it. And I mean, there are a lot. There are countless missions, adventures, and battles that have taken place on Mustafar and especially Darth Vader's fortress. So without further ado, let's hop in. I'll also put timestamps down below. Also, I do want to say quickly that I get most of the video's info from the Star Wars Wikipedia. It's a great site, so go check it out on anything Star Wars. But let's begin. So before we get into all this, of course, again, let's first see the intricate and intriguing building process of this ginormous fortress that Vader calls home. In 14 BBY, after a rogue Inquisitor chase, which Darth Vader dealt with, of course, Vader requested a planet from Darth Sidious, his master, that he can make a base at to call home. Agreeing, of course, to please his apprentice, Sidious suggested Tatooine and Naboo. Not great ideas, Sheev, but Vader asked for control over Mustafar, the lava-filled volcanic planet, as was highly linked to his connection with the dark side. Sidious accepted and sent Vader to the planet, accompanied by the Imperial Colonel Alva Bren and Lieutenant Rago, as well as the Mask of Darth Momin, who, for context, was an ancient Sith Lord who, when he died, all that was left was his mask, which still had his consciousness within, which Sidious had found in a hidden room in the Jedi archives years prior, and had already communicated with. Upon arrival to the planet, Vader scouted the area and decided to have the fortress to be built over an ancient Sith cave, which Vader had meditated in before. Vader returned to meditate in the cave, but was interrupted by Bren, who had created a design for the fortress, but Vader rejected it, and Bren returned to the ship, seemingly a peaceful move from Vader not to kill her. But let's just say that didn't last too long, because upon her return, Momin's mask possessed Lieutenant Rago, who killed Colonel Bren, finally giving Momin an actual form after many centuries. Stretching for the first time, he exhaled and said, "Damn, my back's been killing me. All these years, it feels so good to finally stretch." He sighed once more and looked at Vader with a gleam in his eyes. Wait, that didn't happen. My bad, guys. Anyways, back to it. During his possession of Rago, Momin created the first blueprints for the fortress, designing it in such a way to maximize its attunement to the dark side. Momin then showed these blueprints to Vader upon his return. Vader killed the possessed Rago and took Momin's mask into the Sith cave, where the mask gave Vader a vision of Momin's past and his love for the art and other things. Anyways, he then attempted to possess Vader, though Vader resisted. Shortly after, a group of Mustafarians attacked, of course people who live on Mustafar, and the mask possessed one of them in his new body. He stated that his design he had for the fortress would act as a channel to the Force, after it was constructed, of course, and Vader would finally be able to achieve a way to meet his long-lost love, Padme Amidala, again. Vader threatened Momin, stating that Sidious had already lied about him to this prior, and that Momin would be killed if he did not live up to his word. So Momin, let's just say, had some pretty high stakes at hand. I really like that bit, because it's really interesting to see how Vader is so driven to get Padme back, after killing her, of course, and he's now back on the planet he killed her at. Anyways, so Momin attempted 8 more times over 2 years to get the fortress working with the Force channel, so Vader could finally meet his long-lost love again, of course, Padme Amidala. But he failed so many times, his body was killed twice, and his mask placed on and on. So Vader, tired and sick of the failures, decided enough was enough, and told Momin that if he had failed a 9th time, he was finished. And finally, his 9th design worked, and as Vader was channeling the energy in the cave, attached to his new fortress, they were attacked, and as Vader went to go solve the issue, Momin double-crossed Vader. I know, Darth Vader was double-crossed, and was able to resurrect his old body to finally make him whole again. So, there you go. That was the fortress's history. But now, let's talk about what's been going on at the fortress after the construction. Before we do that, I do want to say, if you guys liked that story, make sure you go check out Wikipedia again. There's all that on it. I really love that one. I think Momin's just a cool character. It'd be awesome if we could see him in movies. That'd be pretty sick. It could work in a more, maybe scary aspect of Star Wars, that he's possessing people, and he's just trying to get his original body back. Anyways, that could be a cool live-action idea, but let's move on. Let's look at the thefts that were carried out by the Rebel Alliance on the fortresses, sometimes between 2 BBY and 0 BBY. So, members of the Rebel Alliance conducted a mission to infiltrate an Imperial base near the castle for Captain Cassian Andor, which you should all know if you watch the Andor show or you watch the Rogue One, which are amazing. Go check them out if you haven't. But I love Andor. I think he's a great character. I think the show is really good. They made it more 18+. Not 18+, but you get what I mean. It's more adult. And I think it really brought a new light to Star Wars. That was really cool. I can't speak today. Anyways, disguised in stormtrooper armor, the Fort traveled to Mustafar with their pilot, Aphex, and the reprogrammed security droid, K2SO, which, again, you should probably know from Andor or Rogue One. Or was he in Andor? I don't think so. I think he was just in Rogue One. I'll put it on the screen if he was. Anyways, K2SO in a stolen Imperial transport. Upon arriving, the Imperial base was not happy to hear of the ship's arrival and demanded the ship would land immediately and be ready for for inspection. A hover platform docked the ship and took the spies across to the main base, before taking a lift down to the base. They found a rack of blasters inside, and the alarm started going off. K2SO informed the others of this and instructed them to pick up the blasters and find their target. As the base responded to the threat of the rebels, stormtroopers filed out onto the walkways to try and shoot the rebels. But, of course, they're ultimately defeated by the rebels' plot armor, and the insectoids rose from the lava and spat fire at infiltrators. Yes, insectoids. Never heard of them. A giant insectoid backed them up until the spies killed it as well. K2SO unlocked the door for the rebels to enter the base inside. As the rebels moved back into the corridor, K2SO presented them with a memory puzzle, while stormtroopers were shooting the rebels from behind. Then they ran down another corridor leading to a room containing the weapons crate that the rebels needed and were dispatched to get. Athex opened the crate and found a proto-saber. I know, right? However, Darth Vader arrived and threw his lightsaber at them, stabbing Athex in the chest. The infiltrators fired at Vader, and the stormtroopers that arrived to reinforce him. Vader used the Force to crush their weapons and began walking towards the party. K2SO then rammed the Imperial transport into the side of the building, scooping up the spies and the crate, saving the day. After leaving the atmosphere, of course, they jumped to hyperspace. After what happened with Padme and this, I'm not sure Vader is going to be liking this planet much more, or his new fortress, but I built my moment. But I am glad we're hearing more in Andor outside for the mainline information on his adventures, of course, from Andor and Rogue One, which both are amazing. Just go check out again. And a quick side note, I do want to mention that the Vader Immortal is great, and you guys should go check it out. If you have the headset, it'll get you right into the action inside Vader's fortress, and you get to go through the lore and history of Mustafar and Lady Corvax. And yes, you have to use a lightsaber. You can live out your Force dreams. And also, you gotta use a turret, which, that's pretty sick. And no, this is not an ad, I just highly recommend it. But moving on. But sadly, this feat of a fortress did not last forever, because after the Empire's defeat, it was left in complete ruin. But that didn't mean no one was still there to protect it, because the Alzmec of Winsit, a Sith cult who colonized Mustafar and protected the Corvex Fen, which is a forested area on Mustafar if you didn't know. Yes, I did say forest, I know, on the lava planet. The cult's main objective was to restore Mustafar back to its former glory. Therefore, they protect the planet, the Force, and what was once Vader's powerful castle. Let me know in the comments if you guys want me to make a video on any of them. They're all really interesting. I love Mustafar and all the stories that were on it. I'll totally make more videos on it if you guys want, and if I end up wanting to. Also, Snoke came to Mustafar for some obsidian stone or whatever, but, you know, it's Snoke. Anyways, go check out Wikipedia if you feel like it. There are so many adventures and stories and info on practically all of Star Wars that you need to know. And feel free to go check out my other Star Wars videos that I'll put on the end screen now. So what were your guys' thoughts on Mustafar, Vader, and during that time period, his giant fortress house built by Momin, and the stuff that the fortress has been seen in, like Rogue One and Kenobi? But besides all that, thank you for watching. Goodbye.